Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thought for Thursday. As you know, Thought for Thursday is a part of my podcast, Leveling Up the Podcast with Alethia Tucker. It's the piece of the podcast that we do on Thursdays, where we bring you 15 minutes, 15 powerful, packed minutes of advice, things that are going to help you to not stay where you are, but to level up to the next level. So, what are we talking about today? I gave you the teaser already. We're talking about scars and how our scars can lead us to understanding purpose. Now, when we think of scars, seldom is it that we think of something beautiful. When we think of scars, we think of something that has defaced us in some way or made what was once good appear not to be so good anymore. Oftentimes we look at scars and we think of pain immediately. And sometimes we look at scars and we immediately start to leave things behind or to forget things that may have led up to our scars or things that resulted because of our scars. Scars don't always conjure up beautiful things. Just the word itself, scars, lets you know that there has been some damage done, that something has been changed. And that change has not occurred in a real positive way. Well, yeah, change may not have occurred in a positive way, but that does not mean that you still cannot get positive results out of something that has been painful, out of something that has possibly damaged how you knew life to be, damaged your perspective on things, damaged the way that you progress, damaged your very livelihood. Yes, scars can be absolutely debilitating. I have many scars, some that are real obvious to anyone who looks at me, and then some that are hidden. Many of us have scars that are hidden and they affect how we relate to others. It affects how we deal with situations, how it is that we process things, how it is that we deal with or try to overcome fears and apprehensions. They've brought about fears and apprehension. I think specifically probably about one of the most traumatic events that happened to me when I was 16. And I've spoken about this before, where I was in an accident. And the accident, I was a pedestrian and I was hit while walking. I was hit by a bus while walking. And the damage that I suffered to that foot, it seemed like it would be totally un it would change my entire life. And in many respects, it did. My foot was the only thing that was damaged. Some years later, I have other ailments that have come up as a result. However, that foot was so badly scarred, and I was at such a tender age that it really did bother, it really did influence how I looked at myself. It influenced how I presented myself to the world. And over the years, it really did present how I started to step into purpose. There were apprehensions and fears and a lack of self confidence and low self esteem that began to trickle down and not just affect how I looked at myself, how I looked at myself physically, but also what I felt about what I could do and what I could accomplish. I know it seems crazy that something like a scar, an outside scar, would affect really how you operate in life, how you perceive your intelligence, how it perceives what, or how it affects how you perceive what you can do. But that's what scars absolutely do. It was over the years too that I learned that that accident and so much of what happened after that, how it really did damage. It just didn't scar my body at that time. It scarred my life because it changed how I approached things. And if I didn't get a hold of the concepts that I had around it, if I didn't get a hold of how I felt about my self esteem and what it is that I had and the value that I brought to the world, that I really would not live my life at the fullest. So tonight, I want to encourage you, whatever your scars may look like, they could be physical, they could be emotional. We have scars from abuse, we have scars from things that may have happened to us in relationships, physical scars such as mine. We have scars that may have resulted from things that we have presented and things that have been knocked down, from events that have happened in our lives where we have been rejected. So many things cause scars. And these are the things that, if we don't get a hold of them, if we don't get the right perception about how they can really benefit or how they can help to bolster and reaffirm who we are, that we use them as a source of power and not as something that will tear us down. When we learn to do that, then we can overcome the things that are keeping us from pursuing purpose, that are keeping us from moving into that realm in which we can have the best life possible. So, what are some things? What are some things right now that we can look at? Any scar that you have, how is it that that scar can push you, help to elevate you, help to direct you towards purpose? Well, there's some things that you need to do in order to allow your scars, or to see your scars really having some type of benefit for you, or benefiting how it is that you decide you're going to do life. One thing that you need to do is embrace the lesson. Each painful experience there is carries a lesson that's meant to really shape us. So instead of resisting that hurt or trying to push it away, trying to act as though it didn't happen, lean into it. Ask yourself, what is it that I can learn from this? What is it that I can gain? Yeah, that was incredibly painful. I learned so much from when I learned that I could be strong. I learned that I could withstand pain. I learned that I could do things that many couldn't do. And eventually I had to learn to apply that to when I pursued projects, realizing that there were things that I was able to do that many couldn't do, and I was a lot stronger than I thought. Understanding your lesson can really just open the door to so many new insights about who you are and what you stand for. So, what else can scars do? How else can you move mountains and just change things in your life? Scars help you to cultivate resilience. I just talked about that a little bit. Pain builds resilience. Every time you rise from a setback, you strengthen your ability to overcome challenges. Think about that. Let that be your catalyst from rising, or for rising from any setback that you're going through right now. Let you know that you are going to come out of it all the stronger because of the challenge that it presented. Resilience becomes a part of your story, and it fuels your drive to pursue your purpose, proving that you're capable of navigating not just that obstacle that you might be in now, the obstacle that you were in, but any obstacle that can confront you, that just probably will confront you going forward. What else can scars help you to do? What can you gain from them? Well, you can connect with empathy. How often have you had something to happen to you, and seen someone else to experience something similar and immediately connect with them? You're able to put yourself in their shoe. But the wonderful thing about being able to kind of conjure up that empathy and to relate to that other person who may be going through something that you've experienced is you've gotten through it. And that empathy is going to help you to be able to be a witness. Your story is going to help you to be able to help someone else to come out of a situation that looks a lot like something you may have dealt with, or something that you're currently dealing with, and you found a way to overcome. It allows us to connect with people on a deeper level. And when you embrace your pain, you can really, like I said, put yourself in their shoes. And so the connection not only enriches your life, but it also acts as a guide for the lives of others. What else? Well, your scars can inspire you to action. Let your pain be a motivator for action. When you acknowledge what it is that you have been through, you can really channel that energy. You can channel it into something positive, whether it's advocacy or mentorship or coaching or developing programs that will help others, or just be sure that whatever it is that you focus on using your experience to inspire others, right? And ignite change, that change that you have been able to make or change that you are experiencing. Ignite that change in you, ignite that change in someone else, ignite that change in your community. So, what else is it that your scars can really help to influence? What is it that it can help to bring out? Your scars, they help to define your value. Yeah, yeah. Pain can clarify what truly matters to you. If you ever think back to something that you've gone through and you've gotten through and you're on the other side of it, think of something else that may seem just a little painful, that may have seemed majorly painful before you went through that real big challenge. And you look at it now and you're like, you know what? I really don't have to give this much weight at all. Is this really, really of value to me? Is it really something that I want to value? You're strengthened by them, basically. You are strengthened. And what happens is you start to put things in perspective a whole lot better, don't you? Your perspective gets clearer about what's really important. How is it that whatever's going on is really aligning with your values? Is it aligning? Do you really have to give it the weight that you've been giving it? So, in other words, your experiences help you to be able to push off those things that you realize really just don't matter at all. It helps you to rise above them, doesn't it? Use this understanding to help to create like a purpose-driven life that resonates with who you are at your core. That's what we're talking about when I say values. Your scars can really illuminate the path toward living as you, living in authenticity, living as being who you are and not who you may appear to be or who you've been trying to perhaps hide behind with smoke and mirror. So there you go. Scars are things that we really don't, it's not like we really wanted them. They occur because of things that may have not been so pleasant. But just because they were rooted in things that aren't pleasant does not mean that you can't get good out of them. Embrace the lessons that they bring. Cultivate the resilience, connect with empathy, and inspire others. All things that you can do, all ways in which you can use your scars to make you better. All right? For those of you who want to get to a new place, who want to move beyond where it is you've been stuck because of your scars, this Monday is your opportunity. Reinvent Her rolls out on Monday. This is a mini life coaching series, 4 weeks. Usually it can run anywhere from 8 to 12 weeks. I feel absolutely pulled and pushed to present this at this season in a time when we're approaching the last quarter of the year and right before we start anew in the new year. You may need to let go of some things that have been hindering you. You may need to find the best way to handle your scars. This is for you. I've been telling you reasons across my social media for joining. I've been listing them one by one. You matter. because it's time for you to get to a new platform, because it's time for you to find out exactly what purpose looks like and pursue it, because it's time for you to find out who you authentically are. That's such a big one for me. And not who you have been because of your job, because of what family may have expected, because of how the community wants you to be, but who you are authentically and living as that person. Reinvent Her is for you. I have put information that's scrolling at the bottom of the page here or at the bottom of this frame. Be sure that you connect with me so that we can get you jump started, so that we can work past scars. We can work past limiting beliefs. We can work past whatever it is that is holding you from pursuing your best life. And as I always say, moving out of that life of mediocrity and into one that is purpose filled, authentically you, and into one that thrives. Thank you so much for listening this evening. Remember to connect with me. And above all else, remember that your imprint has value. You have value. You bring value to the world, and it's a value that is more than enough. Don't ever feel as though you're not enough. Your imprint is needed. You can make a difference in your life and in the lives of others. Thanks again for listening, and I wish you the absolute best. Remember, be sure to connect with me for Revive Her, and let's go ahead and make some changes that are going to start now, changes that are going to make a difference for you right now and going forward. Have a great one.